Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Parenting Talk with Mommy JoyZenu. Yes, today I will be talking about Mommy, Daddy, you both are needed in the life of that child. So let's get into it. Beloved, parenting in most cases is connected to the mother. The mother is actually the one who does everything, the cooking, the cleaning, and most men are the breadwinner. I just want to thank God that things are getting better and more fathers are getting involved. And that's where we are going today. Daddy, you are so needed in the life of that child. And when I talk about needed, I'm not talking about passively involved, but I'm talking about actively involved. So, the first reason why you are needed in the life of that child is basically because you too are a role model. Yes. That if there are things your children look up to you, they copy from you. Whatever you want them to practice, you yourself need to practice it. For example, if you want your children to be reading their books and, of course, taking reading as something important, it's very important that they see you reading. Let the children see you doing the things that you expect them to do, especially when it comes also to house chores. The second reason why it's so important for you to get involved, Daddy, is basically because there are some ethics, there are some morals, and of course there are some norms only you as a father can teach your child. Yes, let's take for example the masculine nature of a man. It describes braveness, self-confidence, responsibility. Yes, no matter how much your wife involves the children in house chores, these are things only you actually can teach the child. To be responsible, to be self-confident, to be bold, to be brave. Another example, the decision-making process of a man. Oh my God. They take their times. Oh my God. And sometimes we may even get frustrated. Make the decision, make it. But actually, it's a good thing. It's a very good habit because men are logical. They are rational. They really take their time. They count the cost before making a decision. And this, I believe, is something very important that we need to teach our children. We need to pass on to our children that when it comes to decision making, we don't make decision out of our feelings. We don't make decision out of the present situation, how we do feel, but we rather need to count our costs. We rather need to put things together. We need to be logical. We need to be rational before we take a life-changing decision. Yes. So, Daddy, you are needed. And this is something you as a father need to know. No matter how multitasking your wife is, no matter how smart she is, no matter how intelligent she is, she can never replace you. She can never be a man. So you as a man, you need to stand up in your home and especially in the life of your children. It's so important. It's so important. And to women, yes, I know sometimes we think we know everything, when it comes to raising up children. Oh my God, we know everything. Of course, there is this connection from the beginning with the child. But believe me, we know not everything. And it's so important that we get that within us. And also sometimes let the men teach us. Let the men get involved. Let's also learn to trust the kids to the men. As a woman, I believe that marriage or having children is not the end stage of a woman's life. You say you need to get better. You need to have dreams of your own, and you need to create that time to go after that dreams. And one of the way you can create the time is involving your husband. Trust the man that he can also take care of that child. And it's so important. At the beginning, he might not do everything right. He might make mistakes. But it is our duty as mothers, as women, to help them to become better fathers. The third point is actually something that I think is so important. It is your first ministry. Yes. You are not only raising the future generation, but you are raising somebody's husband, somebody's wife to be. And it's so important that you know that it is your first ministry. You can be an entrepreneur, you can be a pastor, you can be whatever. Your home, your kids is your first ministry. So it's so important that you invest time in your first ministry and you get to know your kids on a one-to-one relationship, not what their mother tells you. For example, you create daily time for them. And it's important that the people around you get to know that as well. A lot of fathers, they have friends. When they are free, they prefer to meet their friends instead of spending quality time with your kids. And it's not even when you are free, even if you are not free. Actually, as a father, it is important that you create quality time daily with your kids. For example, you can say, I am responsible for the evening routine of my kids. So in the evening, I make sure that I pray with them or that I read them books. You are responsible for it. In that, you create the woman also time for herself to go after her dreams. You understand? You can also say, oh, I'm responsible for checking the homework of my kids. Yeah, it's so important. In the sense of, okay, every day when they close schools, I make sure that I control that all of them have done their homework properly. The time you spend with your kids, that's the time you have the possibility to pass also your own ethics and morals across to the kids. And that's why it's important that it should be something you do once in a month or once in 2 weeks or once in a week. A personal relationship is something that your children need. It is your first ministry. Parents or the fathers get involved actively and on a daily basis with your kids. Let's take like eyes. There are two eyes, the father, the mother. If the mother is the only person getting involved, doing everything, spending time with the kids, there is two things that happens. First of all, the child have a closer relationship with the mother. It's a normal thing. The second thing is, as a father, you are actually depriving that child to know things that will come from the perspective of the father. It's like you are actually closing one eye. It means that child is seeing the world with one eye instead of seeing the world with two eyes. So that's why it's important that you both get involved, father, mother, and it helps the kid to see the world in a very, very broader way. So parents, get involved. I've come to the end of this video. If this video has been a blessing to you, give me a thumb up, share the video, and don't forget, it takes a village to raise up a child. So let's help one another. Thank you so much and see you in my next video. Yours truly.
We proud of who we are. Everyone goes